Today we're working on my Boom Vader BD 125-10 and we're going to be swapping out the factory front sprocket for the 17-tooth front sprocket. This is a pretty cheap upgrade, and what it should do is kind of up our top end a little bit so we're not topping out at 48 miles per hour anymore, and also make it so we don't have to shift anywhere near as early. And when you're looking at sprockets, make sure you get one that's the same type of chain you have, and by that I mean the stock chain is a 428, so you want to make sure you get one that's a 428. Otherwise, the spacing's not going to be right and it's just not going to fit. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the 8mm bolts loose that hold the sprocket cover on. This bike is brand new. Wow. Those took a little bit of force to get off of there. Top. Jesus. I'm not used to working on a brand new bike, that's for sure. Everything's nice and tight, which is weird because this thing's Chinese, and I've heard that typically things aren't. And with the two bolts out, go ahead and get that cover out of the way. That's our factory sprocket. Look at that little cutie. So these are the two bolts that hold the sprocket to the bike. They are 10mm. And before I go ahead and loosen the chain, I'm going to go ahead and take these loose. Might not pull them out all the way, but I'm hoping the chain being on there will give it just a little bit of extra tension. Just be careful when you're doing this because you see the whole thing wants to rotate. You definitely don't want your bike trying to escape on you or falling over, damaging you or the bike, you know. I said you guys first because I care about you. I'd also like to state at this point in time that I am not a mechanic. I don't claim to be a mechanic. This video is for entertainment purposes only. If you hurt yourself doing this, that's on you. There's one bolt. Do not lose these things. I also said I was going to leave those in there for a little bit for the time being, didn't I? But I'm pretty sure it just holds that clip in place, so we should be okay to take them out. But, better safe than sorry, I guess. Now we can go ahead and break this axle loose. On the left side, this is going to be a 14mm wrench. Here on the right side, this is going to be a 17mm. Now, if it's a brand new bike like mine, it's probably going to be pretty tight. Just kind of want to back it out to make sure she'll move. That's really all we need to do. All right, that feels pretty good. Now we're going to turn our attention to these adjustment bolts. So this first one here is basically a lock nut, jams up against this one to make sure it doesn't back out and go anywhere. So we're going to loosen this one up all the way. And of course, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Sometimes I find if it's a little stuck, a little persuasion with the old rubber mallet does the trick. Same thing here on the other side. And again, be careful not to knock your bike over. Break her loose, just like that. And as you can see, the adjuster here is now going to turn freely. So we want to loosen that up. Left side of the bike, same thing. That one's a little more snug. Look at that. Go ahead and loosen this guy up like so. All right, now what we're going to do is now we're going to try to slide this tire forward. Try to slide the wheel forward if we can. I'll get some slack on that chain. This is not going well. Loosen that axle nut just a little bit more. Let's just kind of hope we'd be able to slide the wheel forward, unless there is just nowhere. Okay, so here we are, several days later, because I do not understand how some people are managing to move this rear wheel forward with the bike on the ground, unless it's because I'm on this carpet thing. I don't know, but I ended up buying like this cheap paddock stand off Amazon for like 42 bucks. And she still don't want to go forward. Unless it's because this bike is brand new, or this axle's not loose enough. This axle is super loose, man. It's like going to be coming out of here soon. Like, there's like nothing left. That is flush with the end of the axle bolt. Other than giving this thing... Now that is why I keep this mammer jammer around. Alright, it looks like we were successful. Freaking finally. Jeez. This means I should have fun pushing this thing back. Awesome. Alright, so let's grab our 10mm socket. Go ahead and get these off. Yeah, see, now that we're in the air, the whole thing will spin, but, oh, we got her a little bit. Go ahead and hold the rear wheel. Keep it from spinning. There we go. Bolt comes out. This little locking ring. Turn it a quarter turn. It pulls out, looks like that. We should be able to take out the stock 14 sprocket. There she is. It's a 428 14 tooth. We are going to replace it with this 428 17 tooth. All right, so our chain guide's off a little bit. That's kind of funky. We might have to do something with that at some point. I plan on changing out this stock chain eventually. Sounds like a problem for another day. All right. So we'll go ahead and get the 17-tooth sprocket. Put the chain around it, because it's just a little tight. Come on, baby. You gotta be kidding me. I need just a hair more of clearance. Man, I got no adjustment left in the rear. This is ridiculous. It's so close. Like, if this thing had one or two more links in it. Some people are using their factory chains. I mean, did they, like, mix and match these freaking things and just pull them out of a bucket and slap them together? Fine, I'll do the chain. All right, so I was hoping I'd get some life out of the stock chain, but apparently it's too short for this 17-tooth, so I bought this cute little guy on Amazon. So yeah, this is a 120. I heard I only need about 110. As you can tell, I'm super excited about doing this. This is a nice shiny chain, though. I dig that. Comes with some master links. I don't really know what this is. I presume it's part of the chain breaker tool. I suspect maybe. Maybe not. Oh, no, it's the second one of them. Okay. So this is going to be interesting for a couple reasons. One is I've never used a chain breaker before. I get the gist of it. It's basically, I'm going to get in frame. Oh my gosh, this is taken for, it's a very tight thread pitch. So I think I line this up on the chain. Then I use this little guy to push out one of these little guys. Seems easy enough. Just remember, like I said, I am not a mechanic. Now, I don't think it matters. Does it matter where I do this? I honestly do not know. Or is there like a link, a master link on here that I got to do it on? Wait, I see the master link. Hold on. Maybe we don't need the chain breaker for this one. Let's spin this little cutie around here. There's our little link. That's our master link. Okay. All right, so my needle nose pliers are who the heck knows where. I'm hoping maybe this pair of channel locks, I can just kind of grab this thing. Some of you are probably thinking, what the heck's this guy doing? Well, I'll be honest with you. I got no clue, baby. I got no clue. There we go. Pop. Oh, goodness gracious. That little butthead was not like... Oh, goodness gracious. We got her. Okay. Put those over there. Let's go ahead and run this factory chain out of here. All right, now, the question is, how many links is this mammer jammer? Because I've heard a lot of people say that 110 is fine for a 14 tooth. I've also heard people say that their factory one's fine. So I bought a 120, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105. All right, so my factory chain was 105, 106 if you count the master link. Now, does this thing have a master link, or do I got to use the breaker on this thing? Looks like I got to use the breaker on this thing. So let's go ahead and pick a spot somewhere, I don't know, this general area, I think. Little pin on the side of the chain goes in that little hole right there on the breaker. I'm trying to look past the camera while I do this. So that snugs down on there. That actually sits in there kind of centered. That's fine. And then I need to move this guy. About a 13. It's not a 13. Which is good because it means I got a 14 around here somewhere. Perfect. Get it going the right way. Then I think we just kind of spin this. And I think we just keep turning this until that pin pops out this other side. I think. Never done this before. My other two bikes are shaft drive, so it's not really a problem. All right, that got a whole lot easier. Boop, there it goes. There's that little pin that was in there. Oh, nope, there's that little pin that was in there. The chain is now free. All right, I think what I'm going to try, though, I think I'm going to get the 17-tooth sprocket. I'm going to go ahead and get it in place. Get the chain going around it. Like so. Get the chain kind of on the bike, and then just kind of guesstimate measurement-wise what I need. It's probably easier if I take this little fender chain guard thing off, but that's something a smart guy would do. I'm also getting to the point where I just kind of want this done. Because in case you guys didn't know this, I don't like working on motorcycles. Which if you take a look at my shadow bobber, I know that doesn't really make sense. I just get annoyed. I get frustrated. And then eventually I just want the projects done. And of course trying to record everything I'm doing. Because honestly, if it wasn't for the channel, if I didn't have the channel, man, all these mods would already be on this bike. But the problem is I want to record everything. That adds that extra layer on top of it. Sometimes it's just tricky to get motivated. Am I like just stupid? Like what is going on here? This has been on there like 6 times already. It's not like directional, is it? No, it's not. Or it is. I don't know. Whatever. Boom. All right, sprocket's on. Chain is wrapped around it. Take our little locking collar here. Because I just feel myself getting angrier and angrier as every moment passes. This is also the one from the stock sprocket. I wouldn't think it'd matter. Okay, I see. So the groove is like halfway on this shaft. So I was thinking this was like a push in and then like a quarter turn to lock it. It's just got to sit inside that groove. I see what we're doing now. But yeah, this is my first time doing a chain, man. And it does turn a quarter. Am I just like stupid? Why is my burn? There we go. Take our bolt. Blue lock tight. Get that lined up. Grab our other bolt. Lock tight. Snug that down. Snug that down. Hot dog, we are in the home stretch, sort of. All right, so we're wrapped around the rear sprocket. We're wrapped around the front sprocket. This is a 120 chain. So if I take off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I do a 110, and that'll hook up to there. All right, here we go. Yeah, come on, baby. Boom. There it is. And there's our 10 links. It looks like we're also going to have to pop this last link off so we can get this master in here. Oh, man, yeah. Fussing with all this certainly does make me appreciate the shaft drive on my Honda Shadow and my Kawasaki Mean Streak. For sure, because, I don't know, chains probably aren't all that bad. All right, let's see if we can bring these two together without having a pair of needle nose pliers, because apparently I only own one, and their current location is who the heck knows. But I think I can get it done with these right here, considering I can't even get them separated right now. So, from what I understand, the way the little clip on this master link works is you want it to be like, you want the closed part going like with the rotation of the chain, and since we're going to be rotating clockwise, we're going to have it pointed to the right. The opening is going to be on the left. So this is the part of the video where I realized that I took one of these off when I didn't need to. And then I also realized that this chain already has a master link on it, because why would it not? And that I'm just dumb. All right, had to turn the camera off for a second. I was getting really frustrated with my stupidity on this thing. And basically, I ended up having like two like male links on each side, so I had to bust another one off of those. We're down to like a 108 now probably, but I think we're still okay, because that still looks like there's plenty of slack in there. And I'm just going to have two masters in here for the time being. I'll probably replace this chain at some point anyway, but fine, whatever. All right, so we got an inner link and an inner link. Pardon my technical terms. Take our master link, slide it through like so. I'm going to take our little clip. I'm going to take the little open side. We're going to slide it on that way because we want the closed end of the link to be rotating with the chain in the proper direction. I'm going to set that on there. I'm going to grab these channel locks because I don't know where my needle nose pliers are. And that just pushes on kind of like so, I do believe. That one's super tight. The factory one's super tight. Why's mine not? Oh, I forgot the other plate. Oh, man. I realized what I did. There's another plate in there I forgot to add. That's why it's loose. That's why it looks funny. Oh my gosh. If I'm having this much fun now, how much fun's that carburetor install gonna be? I think that's the plate for the master link. There we go. That feels a lot better. Maybe I should have taken a longer break because I'm still pretty frustrated. Bam! It's on there. Thank goodness. Holy freaking A. Okay, this should be the fun part too, because now we got to tension up this rear wheel. Some of you guys are probably thinking, man, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And you know what? You're right. That's kind of the whole point of this thing too, you know, is just tightening up this on the other side. Because you know what? You might not always know what you're doing. That doesn't mean you can't learn. Figure it out. Like, I'm really hoping. Do this side a little bit. I'm really hoping, like, just moving these adjusters on each side is going to scoot this axle back. Actually, I'm happy with that. That's perfect. That will work. We need to make sure everything is lined up nice and even, like it should. So I'm going to take a tape measure. Basically, you just kind of manipulate these mammer jammers until you're even on both sides, keeping an eye on your chain tension. Holy crap, I am so ready to be done. It is not even funny. And this, of course, is to align the rear wheel, make sure she's straight. All right, 14 millimeter on the left, 17 millimeter on the right. Tighten our axle bolt. Chain looks pretty straight, wheel looks pretty straight. Hot dog. 13 millimeter. Tighten these jam nuts if you have not done so already. All right, so I just talked to myself for about 5 minutes without hitting record. So yeah, chain's tensioned. Probably a little tight, it'll be fine. I heard a rumor that the 17 tooth with the chain rubs on the cover, which it definitely will. That's that clicking noise. So we're gonna have to trim some, I'll take this whole section off right here. But we'll do that in a second. What we're gonna do first though is we're gonna lower the bike back on the ground so we can tighten these 10 millimeter sprocket bolts so I don't forget, and then we'll deal with that cover. All right, bike's back on the ground. Chain seems fairly decent. Go ahead and tighten these 10 millimeters down. They're already Loctited, so we should be good to go. A little bit of wiggle there is normal. All right, now let us go ahead and address this cover right here. I'm just kind of looking at it. I'm probably gonna have to take my grinder because that is definitely a little too big for snips. It's gonna cut like this whole corner off right there. All right, I do not remember what the last thing I was using this thing on because it is super dirty. I got gloves on for safety. I want to cut this portion off right here. And being the finest Chinese I'm sure this won't take very long. Go try to clean this edge up a little bit too. Alright, it's a little rough. That should do her. In the spirit of wanting to get this done, we'll clean this up with some paint later. I really don't want to fuss with it anymore. We take our 8 millimeter bolts, start that one at the top, come down here, right above the foot peg, torque these, torque them down, ba-bam, excellent. Whew, it's done. 17 tooth sprocket, new chain out of necessity to get a little bit of lube on there. It's got a little grease, but we'll go ahead and spray a tatty bit on there, just a little bit, and it's done. It's done, it's done, it's done. It was not supposed to take this long. And this is a perfect example of why I don't like working on things, especially motorcycles. Oh, you can go be a motorcycle technician. That'd be a fun job. No, that sounds horrible. I don't even want to work on my stuff, but it's done. 17 tooth is done. And honestly, I'm not even going to take this thing for a ride today because I kind of don't even want to anymore. I'm just done. This took way longer than I planned on, but not as long as it took to put the bike together, because you know you can buy these Boom Vader clones fairly cheap online. It comes in a box, they deliver it to your door, and then you put it together. And I did that in this video right here. As always, y'all be good. See ya.